What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about neighbors. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Watchdog75 here again. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about neighbors. You saw what just kind of happened out there. I think it was a package that was sent to my house, but it was meant for their house. So I was just returning it. This week, something popped into my head about a neighbor. And I thought about this guy and thought, I have to do one about neighbors. Some of you have probably seen my Snapchats where I talk about my neighbor and my dislike for my neighbor. It's like seeing Bigfoot. There's some of my friends that actually talk about their problems with their neighbors, and I think I have mine pretty easy. You know, I look at my neighbor and he's got junk cars parked in his front yard. He has one in his garage, two in the driveway, and then he used to have 3 of them out on the street, and there's only 2 of them that drive. Why they have all those cars, I don't know. I have a work dog in the back, and his kids used to poke stuff through the fence, and my dog had broke a couple of boards back then, and I had told him, you know, the boards were on his side. And told him one day, I was like, you know, you really got to tell your kids not to poke stuff through the fence. They're really irritating the dog. If he bites them, you know, I'm doing everything I can to keep him on one side. I put up a double fence, so now there's 2 fences. The kids can't even look through. There's just small petty stuff. Our yards used to join up together. There'd be no separation at all until you saw that wall that I put up. I just couldn't stand looking at it anymore. I would cut both sides of the grass until one day he comes out and he looks at me and he says, you know, I think you really like doing yard work. Why is that? Because you're always out here, you're cutting grass. You cut your grass and then you cut my grass. Yeah, you could see how that went over. The guy never came out. He never said thank you. He never said anything other than, I must like doing yard work? Seriously? I don't like doing yard work, dude, but I don't like my yard looking like shit. I used to spray his grass for the weeds. I would control the weeds in my yard and spray his yard because his weeds would come over. He came out one day and he's like, hey, what are you doing in my yard? I said, oh, I'm just spraying the stuff in it so the weeds don't grow. He goes, okay, and he walked back in. Never once did the guy say thanks. So you know what? As soon as we had a chance, put that wall up, no longer have to look at him. It still irritates me when I have to look over and see his cars parked right in front of his house when he has the driveway that he could take the cars out of the way. You know, crazy me. But if you're buying cars to sell them, you should probably fix them up and sell them. Yeah, I know there's some of my friends that are listening to this telling me, dude, you have no problems at all. Yeah, I know. One of my other friends have a security camera around their house. And what they see is they see this, excuse my words, a crackhead neighbor walking back and forth, pacing, waiting for them to come outside. And he irritates them, yells at them, and he does random stuff. He just does awkward stuff. He's called CPS on them for no reason at all. And CPS did their investigation, nothing found. The guy's just trying everything that he can to be a jerk. The reason I came up with neighbors for this week was because the other day, there was a lady I had stopped. The lady pulled up and she says, hey, yes, do you remember me? No, not at all, should I? And as soon as she said it, I remembered her. I remembered exactly who she was. Remembered the car, the passenger, and her. Turns out, she had gotten busted for something and she said that her neighbor did it to her. Of course, I don't believe it. I don't believe what's going on until she busts out this police report that's saying that they did bust the neighbor, trying to frame them and get them in trouble. So, yeah, needless to say, I felt kind of bad after it, but hey, you can't go off everybody's word because I've seen cops. Everybody says that on cops. What, officer? These aren't my pants. Yeah, you all know how it goes. You've all heard that story. I don't know why I dislike my neighbors so much, but I do. There's just certain things that irk us about our neighbors, and there's nothing we can do about it other than sell our house. I've got this house exactly how I want it right now. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to move because of that guy. We all have problems with our neighbor. Do you have a problem with your neighbor? Leave a comment down below and let me know what happened with your neighbor. You know, when I grew up, I knew everybody on the whole block. All the kids went to school together, all the parents would know each other, everybody would know everybody. Now, in my neighborhood up and down the street, I know maybe 3 families. That's it. Nobody comes outside anymore. We need to get back to the days where we actually talked to our neighbors and went outside and conversed with other people. 2 or 3 different friends right now that I have problems with their neighbors right now. So I thought, what better time to make a video than now about these neighbors. So if you guys have any problems with your neighbors, leave a comment down below. Let me know the story that happened to you with you and your neighbor. Like always, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like down below. I will be back here next Friday